All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to trade imbalances and be able to completely dominate the markets. So let's get started. For this strategy, you're only going to need one indicator, and that's Lux Algo price action concepts. If you don't have access to Lux Algo price action, you're going to need to use the link that I have in the description to get access to Lux Algo. It's a paid indicator, but after this video, you're going to know exactly how much it's worth. So let's get right into it. This is how you set up Lux Algo price action concepts to be able to use this strategy. What you want to do is make sure that you have these three boxes checked. Definitely make sure you have the color candles checked. Now, a side note for the color candles, it may not look completely like mine if you're just on default settings. What you'll need to do is to go into your chart settings, which for trading view is going to be right here, and then go into the body. You want to make it exactly like I have mine. I have black, gray. I did the borders like this, and the wicks don't matter. But as long as the body is set up like this and the borders is grayed out, it'll work and it'll look like mine to where you'll be able to know exactly what is what. The reason I leave the wicks as it is because I can see if it's a downward or upward candle within the trend. So it helps me figure that out. That's why I do it exactly like that. So that's how you set up the candlesticks. That way it'll look exactly like mine. Now going into the settings for the rest of the price action concepts, you want to make sure that your internal and your swing order blocks is set up and checked on. And I leave it at the default settings. Internal buy, show metrics, I do that. And then the other thing too is I go down here and I do fair value gap. Make sure that is checked. It's going to be very, very key. Now, this is kind of up to you, but when you look at it, you're going to see that it's going to be a small number for extend box. And this is just how many candlesticks or bars you want the imbalance to extend. So a lot of times I have it between 2 and 500. I'm just going to put 300 for there. You don't want to make it too high because it might make it too irrelevant as you go on in the future if you have a really old imbalance. So 300 gives you, a couple weeks of price action, or depending on the time frame, at least a good period of time where you can see that imbalance. So you can give price the time to come back to it if it's going to come back to it. After that, everything else is unchecked. So now we got that set up. These are the 3 steps for entering the trade. First, you want price to make a break of structure or a change of character. So we have that going on right here. The second thing is after this break of structure, change of character happens, you want to identify any potential either order blocks, which are these right here, or imbalances, which are these right here, that price may go to. Now, at this point in time, if we go and replay, you're not going to see that order block that I just pointed out. What you're going to see is just the imbalance. So now you see just that imbalance. So now what we're looking at here is price. After you identify possible levels, you want price to pull back into it. Now, let's go in, play it forward a little bit. As you see, you do have an instance where you have imbalance here. Now, you can get into this trade because once price makes the change of character and it comes back into the imbalance zone, you can get into this trade. I believe this entry may have been a losing entry, but I'm going to show you how losses don't matter that much with this strategy. So if I was to take this trade, the way that I take the trade is I put my stop loss below the zone, whatever zone I'm using as a rejection point. And then I shoot for at least a 2-to-1 reward to risk. So I let that play forward, and I believe that doesn't happen. See, it doesn't happen for me. Now, the way that I personally do my trade management, even though I'm losing trade, I still believe in the setup. I give myself 2 chances to get it right. So I lost the first one. Now this becomes my secondary zone for an entry. Because my secondary zone for an entry, I lost that trade. It hits my stop loss. That happens. I'm looking for a buy here. So we're going into that trade there. And we're going to let it play out a little bit more. And now it hits that zone. You can see that in the midst it did have a little counter trend move that possibly could have been a winning trade, a small scalp, but we don't play with just the smaller moves. We go for the big moves. So this was the bigger breaker structure here. And this was a change of character, actually. So price extends and then pulls back. This is the larger pullback. It pulls back into that zone. I would have took that trade. Now, some people may ask, do I take the trade when price hits? For me, I'll take the trade when, like, if it's a small one like this, I'll take the trade when price hits. If it's a bigger imbalance like this, I'm gonna wait till it gets to the halfway part. You see how it separates it with that line. I'm gonna wait for the halfway. But for this is a small imbalance. So I'm just gonna take it right on the hit. So my stop loss would have been below this zone. There you go. And all I'm shooting for at least is 2-to-1 for my first take profit. Now, I can go into different risk management where you have 2 or 3 positions open at the same time, all within a 2% risk. And you can have a 2-to-1 for your first trade, a 4-to-1 for your second trade. You can go 6-to-1 for your third trade. That's the way that I personally trade. You can trade exactly how you see fit, but that's my idea of trading, is spreading it out with good reward to risk ratios. So let's just say I'm going for 4-to-1 at least. So I have my take profit right there, and then it hits it right away. It'll hit it right away. So now I won that trade. So with that, I have literally, let me go ahead and exit out of this, a trade that was a really good trade for me because I gave myself a second chance, and obviously you see how crazy that trade went. Now, get another instance, the change of character, pull back into the imbalance, winning trade. Change of character, pull back into the imbalance, winning trade. Break of structure, pulls back into the imbalance, goes to the 50% mark as a bigger imbalance, winning trade. Break of structure, goes to the order block, winning trade. You see how it repeats itself over and over again. Change of character, pulls back into the order block, winning trade. Extension, it's not an official break of structure, but extension, pull back, winning trade. So it repeats itself over and over and over again. So out of maybe 1 or 2 losses, I had 6 wins. And if I'm doing at least 2-to-1 reward to risk, I'm definitely profitable in that sequence. Now, nothing's guaranteed. And, this is for educational purposes only. But you can see the power of what this can do. And I just want to be very straightforward with you. If you get this right, you'll love what you'll see. It's just what it is. It's just making sure that you're consistent and you follow the rules. Break a structure, change a character, pull back into an imbalance or an order block, take the trade. So that's how you win. That's how you win with this strategy. This is how you take Lux Algo price action concepts and completely change your trading with it. So if you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. And then I'll see you at the next video. And hopefully by the next video, you've won more trades because of this strategy. See you on the next one.